If you're just joining and you're with United Wealth Alliance, I want you to put UWA. If you're with another IMO, feel free to state you're with it. If you're coming in from my profile or social media, put Chase in the chat. Let us know where you're at. If you guys do veteran leads, if you already are taking in the veteran market, put vets in the chat. Just let me know where you stand, where you're at, and ultimately how you're making money too. So we're going to dive into it here shortly. I'm just waiting for some more people to come in, and we'll dive in. Make sure the man, the myth, the legend, he's actually just getting account information on a deal. So he will be here momentarily. We'll dive in just a second. Had to put that last social media post for everybody to get in. We're going to dive into it. Can I see some faces? If you're sitting around and your room's messy, I don't care. If you didn't do your makeup this morning, I also don't give a shit. And I'm going to swear at some points in this meeting. So if you get offended by swearing, I apologize. But I sometimes can't help myself. Please, I want to see some faces. I want to see you guys here and actually wanting to listen. I know sometimes you're already doing some calls, you're working. That's totally fine too. But you're going to want to be engaged. You're going to want to listen to this because we've been getting some profound results from this new marketing vertical that we've been working in secretly for the last 9 months. We've been working closely with the team to build this out so now we can actually launch it to the public, launch it to our agency. If you don't know who I am, I'm Chase McAllister. I'm co-founder at UNRL Media as well as United Wealth Alliance. And today I'm going to bring on one of our special clients, James Torrey, to speak about his results with our new leads in the vertical within the veteran life insurance space. How many of you have worked veteran life insurance verticals in the past? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a reaction. Give me anything. Let's go. Let's go. Love to see it. Love to see it. Only a couple of you? Only a couple of you? There's got to be more. There's got to be more. Beautiful. How many of you guys are veterans? Thank you for your service. Thank you from the fellow Canadian that respects his big brother downstairs that beats everybody up for us. Guys, today we're going to keep it pretty conversational. I'm going to ask, obviously, James some questions. If you have any questions and you want to ask James himself, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to have one of our staff members kind of moderate that chat for me and let me know the questions that are being asked. Haley, if you want to be the person to help me out with that, or one of the members here, Alexis, B, anybody, feel free to say, hey, there's a question in the chat. Just speak up. So before James comes on, as he's obviously finishing a deal, which I told him not to take calls before the meeting, but he is such a money-hungry guy. That's probably why he's making $150K on average each month, because he doesn't stop. And it's not that you're going to be able to walk in here and make $150K just because of the leads. You know, James is a beast. He does not stop. He does not leave the office until he writes 5 deals. You know, some of you write 1 deal and you end for the day. Some of you get to 2 deals and end for the day. Some of you ended it the day before you even get a deal. His entire team are not allowed to leave the office until they write at least 1 deal. Is the thing. They have cots. They will sleep at the office until. They will dial till 10 o'clock at night, the West Coast, until they write a deal. And if they don't, well, tomorrow is the walk of shame. And so that that culture is super important. Everybody wants to be making $150K a month, but not a lot of people are actually going to do the work to get there. Because it's not just the leads. I wish it was. I'd be filthy rich, but I'm not. And there's a reason, because it's not just the leads. It's the process you put them through that's going to make the difference. But also your grit, your grind, right? You know, yes, James is doing that. And yes, there's opportunity to make a lot of money with that vertical. And we do generate great leads to be able to do that. But it's not just the marketing. And so I'm not here to just sell you the leads. I'm here to show you that the results are possible and the work ethic that goes behind getting to those results. And also a platform for you guys to get access to those things. Hopefully you join soon, or I'm just going to be talking my ear off with you guys.
I'm here, bro. I've been here.
Sweet. He's there. The man, the myth, right. The legend.
What's up, dude?
You just closed the deal. I love to hear it.
2 deals.
2 deals.
Yeah, 2 deals. Sorry. I've been here. I just been not here mentally. Yeah.
So without further ado, I have James Torrey, the man, the myth, the legend. And for the last 9 months, I've personally seen him put up 6 figures on his own pen. There's a team underneath of him too that are doing great numbers as well. But so as he's still building a team, managing a team, he's still putting up those numbers. So to think that you don't have time to build a team and also produce is silly. And he's a walking, model for that. But it's going to take work and grind. So I want to highlight and just say, like, what you do month in, month out, James, is very commendable. And
thank you, Chris.
And you work your damn ass off to do it. But also, you have the sauce. Not everybody can be James, right? And James, we argue a lot on how we should do things, but when it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'll kind of go over how these leads are generated.
Wait, first, let's tell everybody how we met. I think it's great. Haley could even comment on this. It's actually the reason she doesn't like me whatsoever is I went to Chase for some inbound call leads, and me and him got into, the number fighting game extensively. And I guess Haley behind the scenes was telling him what a dick I was and how, he'd be a horrible person to work with. And Chase and we hit it off right after that. So I don't know. Haley did a great job. That's how we met. I was actually getting some inbound calls from him, and then he explained the opportunity coming over to UWA, and I did that, and I've been doing great ever since. So just wanted to let you guys know that we haven't known each other forever. It's literally, I think, since March, April timeframe. Yeah.
It's been like not 6 or 9 months. It's been a long time. I don't know the exact date, but it's been a bit. It feels like it's been 2 years if you know James 5-minute conversation with him feels like a decade. But
Thanks.
so ultimately, through obviously meeting you and seeing what you were doing as a veteran and only hiring veterans and working specifically with veterans and using the inbounds as a filler, it was like, well, why can't we do that? Like, it doesn't seem overly complex, and we're good at generating traffic. And so I think this is a great market. And then looking through it and going into deep research with it, it's like, well, okay, we're gonna go full tilt, but I'm going to spend a lot of time to work numbers out. We're going to spend a lot of time to figure this out, and not just through an ad campaign out there and go and sell some leads, because a lot of people do that. I want to make sure that it's robust, ethically scaled, and ultimately each agent that comes in can capitalize on the opportunity, and not just send you a spreadsheet of leads and hope to God you figure it out. And so we've been working together for quite some time now, and now we have the opportunity to provide these leads outward. So how the leads are generated, we use Google, YouTube, very minimal Facebook, same as our inbound calls. We're Google and YouTube experts, and so our media buyers continuously have been evolving that media buying, and now people go to an ad, they go to a landing page, they fill out their obviously contact information. We have an OTP in place, so that way they put in a code or they put in their number and the code gets sent to them, and they put in their number to verify the number. We also have them put in a secret word, a word that they put in the form that you have an identifier to confirm that you are the agent that they should be speaking with. And that lead gets sent into real time. We also provide a Kixie account to anybody on a subscription service with us, which I'll kind of get into a little bit later, but pretty basic. I'm not going to go into the weeds of how the ads work and how much we're spending and what it's taken to get there. I think that's in itself, it's taken 6 months for me even to have this webinar. So just think about that. I've been dedicating a lot of my time, James's time, to make this happen. James, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Sure.
And then and if you guys have questions as you go, as I said, put them in the chat. So James, let's just talk about, for the people that haven't done anything in the vet life space, what is the key the different differentiator of maybe a regular general life insurance final expense lead versus a general life potential final expense veteran lead?
Okay, so I've done both. All right. Generally speaking, and it's not even generally, 100%. When I was doing non-veteran leads, the average commissionable premium was like less than $1,000 a policy. So I would say the first thing, the part that's good for the agent, I'd say would be, that our average policy size anywhere from 17 to 2,500. I mean, and I say that's generally, I just wrote one for 3,300. I had another one before that for like 1,500. I have one guy on my team, he's probably on this meeting, Rob. He likes to do like $50 a month policies, but not me. I prefer not to. I leave those for him. That's one thing. Now let's go into the mindset of a veteran, right? Any veterans on here? Anybody here served the military?
Cool.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for your service. I was in the Marine Corps. That's an in for me, right? I automatically, like in sales or anything, compassion is being able to relate to people, right? So you already got a foot in the door if you're a veteran. Do you have to be? No. They also like to be the only veteran sometimes. I've had a guy where I'm like, hey, I was in the Marine Corps. And he's like, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? Like, oh, you want to be the attention person. All right, I got you. I'm gonna put the attention on you. But if you get into the mind of a veteran, it's people that were willing to die for a country. Okay. They're willing to sacrifice their life for people they don't know, for things they don't believe in, or, don't care either way about, for all of us to be able to do whatever we want. So to me, that's selflessness. Right. And if you go with life insurance, you got to kind of think it's coming from the same place, right? We're not going to be here to give that gift to people, but we have to care enough about them to make sure that, that they're protected when we leave. And people that are willing to do that, naturally willing to die for their country, I'd say they're selfless people. So I think those two personality traits go well and well. That's what makes them a good person to target for life insurance.
We had a quick question. Whole life,
Sure.
term, and IUL. What are you writing the most of when dealing with these prospects?
So I'm writing final expense IUL, either one of those. Term, sometimes, we get some young guys, but generally they're looking for term. So guys, get ready to pivot really fast and tell them why term sucks, because most of them are too unhealthy. They're too old to get them something. They see these ethos commercials for a 26-year-old healthy female, for $100,000 for a quarter a day, and they're like, yeah, I want that. And I'm like, yeah, all right, well, I want a lot of things. That's not going to happen. And you got to really get them frame things right to these guys and get them in a more realistic place, versus like they want mortgage protection sometimes, right? They're like, well, I want to make sure my wife. Okay, cool. So maybe for like, how much is your mortgage? It's like $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month. Let's try to get her some protection for 6 to 12 months so she can figure things out. Right? We're not covering a house here. You're 78 years old, dude. There's nothing out there. I can't do nothing for you otherwise. So you have to give them a reason to work with you. The reason to work with you is, let's make it make sense.
We average age you're seeing.
Okay. Average age. Man, I got it. 70s, I'd say.
Cool. I'm gonna get the one question answered, but if you guys have more questions, put them in the chat. I'll just wait till the end because I have some questions that I want to go over as well. But we have another question here: Social Security or pension maximization. So,
what does that mean?
how much Social Security are they bringing in, or if there's?
All right, so here you go. So if you're targeting veterans, if they're 100%, so they work with percentages for their disability and their retirement. Okay, 100%, they could be getting anywhere from like $4,000 to $6,000, $7,000 a month, depending on dependents, depending on if they're getting their Social Security already. So generally speaking,
we'll save those.
There's a lot of questions.
Don't
Hold
worry
your
about
questions for like 5 minutes, guys, because you're distracting me. But I like the questions. That's a good one. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't usually settle on a graded policy or a guaranteed issue policy if I can't get a day one policy. That's the only way, because, well, it doesn't pay shit. And on top of that, you want to bring a lot of value to your customers. Okay. Anybody can come and write them a policy and just shove them into, whatever carrier. But if you do your due diligence, you utilize your tools, which you have insurance toolkits, I imagine, and your brain, as you get more advanced in this, COPD, right? We're going to go with Aetna Standard, Transamerica. We're going to utilize carriers that are best day one preferred rates for our customers, because we don't want another agent from FFL or any of these other freaking crappy agencies coming up behind us and I don't know, rewriting our policy for 12-cent savings every month. So we got to put them in the best situation, and they're veterans, so they'll hold you to that.
So real quick too, I mentioned earlier as well, you have a pretty good culture in your team where they don't leave until they write a deal. Yeah. Right? And Ralph just mentioned it as well. I mean, you don't leave until you write 5. Like there's certain standards that they're putting in place. And I mentioned this in the beginning. It's when I say you're making 6 figures a month consistently every single month, it's not because of the lead. It's because of literally the commitment to making sure that you hit those numbers every single day. And
I think both.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Right. All leads do suck.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with your whole platform there. I love that slogan, dude. I would steal it if you didn't make such a big name out of it already. But like, all leads do suck. Generally, my team, when they first start, they come into me and they're like, is that a magic lead? Like, are you holding back on us? Like, nah, dude, I just don't leave here until I write a policy. And they're starting to get that through their head. All right. They're not leaving, at least the good ones. They don't leave until they get a policy every single day.
And so, just talking about obviously daily commitment for yourself, typically how many people are you speaking to in a day?
So we use a dialer. It calls about, between 6 to 12 people at once.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Same as with Pixie.
Yep. We have ready mode, but
Yep.
it's the same difference. We're calling and trying to talk. We only get connected to people that want to talk, generally, right? We don't hear the phone ringing. Meanwhile, you're doing busy work, trying to text, email, do whatever it takes to get a hold of your customers. Now, guys, I don't know if anybody's noticed, anybody who's doing telesales, but it's gotten a little more challenging to get a hold of people since iPhone and Android have done their updates. It has nothing to do with the leads, just so you
Yep.
know. I wish I could blame the leads. That's the easiest thing to do. But it's because people have all these like you do an upload on your phone. Next thing you know, you have to accept a call from your own wife and your kids. Like, you know what I mean? There's like an AI bot on there saying, "Hey, state your reason for calling." And most of the time, if you say life insurance, they're like, "No."
And to combat that too, there's like, how does a dialer work, right? The dialer is going to use local area codes to be dialing. The Kixie dialer we use or the ready mode dialer you're using. If you're on a subscription plan, we do provide a plan for you in our Kixie. Luckily, I have a really good relationship with Kixie, and we can provide that to you. Typically, it's like $200 to $300 a month for an unlimited plan. They have an AI voicemail detect that will detect if a voicemail is ringing. So it'll just keep ringing. It'll ring like 4 to 5, even 10, depending on. He's got a team in there. I would always suggest maybe 3 or 4 at a time. And the nice thing about Kixie is we can set up an SMS drop for you as well. That'll state your name and try to bypass those walls as James is talking about. In the near future, and our team's working on in the background, we have some pretty cool AI recapturing that is going to be coming out soon. But people are writing money without it, and we want to get these in the hands of all of you as well. There's a couple questions in here. What are you seeing your average conversion rate on the leads that you have coming in based on the conversion? I know obviously you're not first content maybe killing it,
so,
but like
I've been working with veterans for the last 2 years only, and these are tracking slightly better than the leads that I was using before. It's about 4 to 8% conversion on per lead. So my customer acquisition fee goes based on my lead costs. Okay. So I don't know what you pay for your leads, whatever you end up paying for them, you just multiply that times how many people it takes for you to get a policy, and that's your customer acquisition fee. Because veterans, okay, are such a high, they're high intent because they care about people, because they, those selfless people I was telling you about, and also because, they have funds. I mean, there's multiple reasons why they're the best lead, and they have, such a much bigger policy, AP attached to them, that it always will make sense. You can't lose money really with veteran leads as long as you work.
And so another question that came up in the chat. These are typically either you're shooting for a one call close or setting a follow up and doing an appointment. Majority of the time, this is over the phone. You're not setting up a Zoom call with a 70-year-old.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I offered to, and they tell me, "What's that? Is that when your dog runs around in circles?" I'm like, "No, I'm pretty sure that's Zoomies." But anyway,
percentage-wise, how many do you think of your conversations go to a follow-up appointment? Is it, say, 80% are one call close, 90%, 50%, 20%? What do you think that the general range is?
I can tell you right now. So let's see. Out of all the leads, I have AI booking, by the way, guys. I already have AI texting on my CRM. So that means people just through text are booking appointments. I never even have to call. They end up on my calendar. And that's something Chase is working on. So all right, I'm just going to go off the last 100 leads that I got. All right. The last 100 leads, 15 of them booked appointments through text message. Okay. And 37 of them were booked appointments via phone call. Okay. So what's that? 37 and whatever I said before. And it looks like 10 of them already been sold.
Okay. Okay.
So
So you're at
10%
10%.
right now, I'm
Yeah.
just going off the last 100. So those metrics don't
Yeah.
always track, guys. And don't
Exactly.
feel bad if they don't. Also, with veterans, they want you to kind of, the one call close is nice. Generally, you can expect to write about 8 applications for a one call close because they know that you have them by the balls and they can't get approved very easily, and they've tried already. So get ready to do like 8 or 10 apps to get them approved, but they'll throw their information at you because they do care about people and they want a policy. All right, that's the first part. Go ahead. I'll just keep answering questions. There's a lot more.
Brandon, those things will be obviously uncovered. The text messages, the text campaigns, will be shown on a demo call as well. We have some standard ones that'll be in Kixie for you to get some recapture. We also have the CRM that's going to be added to everybody's orders as soon as it launches in a couple weeks, maybe a week's time. So get in there, start dialing, because even with the dialer and the follow systems that are already in place, you're gonna be writing deals. Don't want to give you all the sauce. We can't give you all the sauce just yet. So let's talk about your results. For the last, say, 6 months, how much premium are you putting up every single month? And what's sticking? What's actually being paid? Like, your submit is this. What's your issue paid?
Yeah, so I am always shooting for around $150,000 submitted, so that maybe I can keep 100 on the books as far as immediate, right? We can get most of those other ones back on later, but things, there's problems with policies when you write a lot of them, guys. I don't know if you know this, but until I started paying attention to why I wasn't getting paid from the carriers, I realized that there's some freaking administrative stuff that needs to get done, and I don't like doing that. So I hired somebody to do it. And it's worthwhile if you're planning to build a team and do something, is get someone in policy retention, because it's some stupid little things. We do make mistakes, off by one number here, something foolish like a delivery receipt, dumb things cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. And so I'm putting up about 100. About 100. I shoot for 150. I usually hit about 130 submitted. Of that, I'm getting anywhere from like 90 to 100,000 issue paid.
And
My
so,
team's doing about what I do between the 5 or 6 of them, generally, but this month they're beating me. So I'm super excited. They are all together collaboratively. Even have one guy nipping at my heels. Shout out to Ralph Robinson on here. He's at like 30, what's he at? 33, 34, 35,000. And we still got 10 more days.
And we had a question. He's typically writing about 20 apps a week, I would imagine. Average deal size about 1,800, you'd say, so to hit 150.
Hey, nah, man, I do 50 policies a month. I write 50 policies. They're on or around 3 on either side of 50. Generally, I'm writing 50 policies a month, and that's why I shoot for 5 every day. Right, I shoot for 5 every day. So if I get 1 or 2, I'm on track. And then there are days you strike out, believe it or not.
And Dwayne, yes, they are. I'll be going over that after. So talking about placement, you're probably 75%. Tim's really good at math, apparently. So it's Thursday morning for me, but you're probably 75% first draft. What has been your persistency over the last year on 9 months?
Oh, the persistency rate. Well, we'll be getting a bonus from Americo for sure. I know that much. The phone just keeps ringing. All right, good. Somebody answered it. Persistencies anywhere from, it comes and goes, but generally 80 to 90%. All right, and that's with Americo, and everybody was super afraid of Americo before, because remember, Eagle Premier sucked the worst. It was like had accidental built into it. initially. They've now separated that so people aren't forced to get that. And now they're like one of the most competitive carriers out there. Not that I'm pushing America on you guys, but it's a real simple app. They take a lot of people. I mean, that's why I tell all my people to start with. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I'd like to just touch on some things. Obviously, I own UNRL Media, but I also am co-owner and co-founder of United Wealth Alliance, which you're a part of now. You have your own team and your own structure of how these leads work for your agents. But anybody that's in United Wealth Alliance, this is already in the marketplace. If you haven't registered to get to the marketplace, and for anybody that doesn't know what the marketplace is, we have every vendor, every internal lead that I know personally that I'm either getting chase price from an external source or running our leads and selling them to you guys at cost plus processing to keep the marketplace intact. And so these veteran leads are already available to you on a subscription basis. We also have some overflow aged. Some people call it aged. I'm calling them overflow because obviously it's not just a resold lead. It's overflow because we have so many and James can't keep up with the leads that he does have. So, that's also why we're doing a webinar. It's already in the United Wealth Alliance marketplace, and you guys are getting those at our costs. And so, there's different tiers and different pricing depending on where you're at in the marketplace, but they're already available. So if you haven't registered for the marketplace and you're a United Wealth Alliance agent, register there. If you aren't a United Wealth Alliance agent, you're available at Unreal. And obviously there is a margin to that because there's staff that needs to happen. But with anything, if you're in a subscription, we do it on a weekly subscription or a daily subscription. So you can buy 10 a day or 25 a week or 10 a week. There's a weekly or daily subscription. We do not do one-time orders. If we're going to do a one-time order, we have to charge you a premium because there's a lot of setup that goes involved into that. You can put a thing in the chat, say, hey, have somebody reach out to me, and one of our team members will definitely reach out to you after the webinar. Or you can go to, if you guys are a UW agent, you can go to United Wealth Alliance. But I also like to speak to James. Like, James, do your agents pay for leads?
They're not current. Well, they do pay for leads with their comp. They were paying me $7,500 a month just to participate, and they had a higher comp. I didn't really like that because I always had to wait to get paid back, and I'm fronting the money for all the leads. So instead of doing that, they're at 50% for right now.
For somebody that may be on the call that's not in United Wealth Alliance, that's looking for maybe a new home, what would that opportunity look like?
So pay for your leads, if you want a lower comp, and which I would take this deal any day of the week. I don't know why people get hung up on comp. I mean, I'm spending anywhere from like $60,000 to $90,000 every single month to generate, my whole entire team's revenue, and I'm still making money, plenty of money, and they're making money. But like, just do the arithmetic. If you do, go with somebody and they're charging you like or if you go on Facebook yourself and try to do leads yourself, right? It's a racket. They want you to change them all the time. You get charged $200 a day for maybe 6 leads, okay? Which is going to take you, it's literally going to take you 3 days to maybe come up with a policy at that rate, okay? And oh my God. All right. So versus guys doing all that crazy nonsense and putting up $200 a day, which is about $7,500 a month because you got to pay for a CRM and all that stuff. All right. So your break even point every month on a $7,500 bill that I was charging my agents is $20,000. That's not break even. That's for them to make $7,500 and pay for the leads. Make sense? Okay. Versus now they got that looming debt rolling over them. All right. And it's kind of stressful for some people. I don't care. It makes me work. When I get too much money, I go buy a brand new truck so I have a reason to work harder, one I can barely afford. All right. But now 50%, that means you get all of the money. You never have to pay. So same exact thing. If you do 20 grand a month, you make the same $7,500, except if you fall short for some reason, you still make money. Follow me? That's what I like. I like that everybody makes money. I don't want people to be too stressed out. Not everybody can handle it. Now, if you're a go-getter and having that bill is going to make you work hard, hey, freaking do it. That's what works for me. Might not work for you, or might. Spend the money up front, go buy the leads, get the higher comp, and bet on yourself, because that's the two options. Either you have You want to play it a little safe, or you really believe in yourself and you know you're going to convert. And then it's like everything else. Nobody appreciates anything they didn't pay for. Okay. You pay for your leads, you're going to work them harder than anybody else. I can tell you that from experience and building a team. All right. There's a couple people occasionally they'll surprise you and do really, really well. But at the end of the day, I do the best because I have the burden.
So I just put in the chat too. We're on Unreal side, it's $30 a lead if you're buying 25 one time, 25 if you're buying 50 one time. You get 50% off if you're putting it on a weekly subscription. I think after the 5th week, you get an additional discount on there as well. Put the link. If you want to sign up, sign up. If you want to get some more information, speak with one of our team members, feel free to just put in the chat, call me, and we'll definitely give you guys a ring. James, if somebody's sitting here and currently working maybe some general life or final expense, etc., what is going to be their biggest hurdle to changing into this demographic? Because it is different. It's a different person. Let's start with final expense. Maybe some of the guys that are taking our inbound calls for final expense, what's going to be the biggest hurdle that they're going to have to learn? You know, with final expense, I know for a fact we have to spend a lot more time in the pain. We have to spend a lot more time in the why. I know you, right? We don't need to even disclose how quickly you're writing apps, but because me and you both disagree on that, and I don't want to bring that debate in here. But for somebody that's writing final expense, it spends a lot more time in the pain, the why, and maybe with the technical stuff in the application. What's besides that? What other hurdle or changes are going to happen in their call flow, in their sales process?
All right. So the major difference is don't assume you're in their bank account and you're not in their wallet. Don't be afraid just because you've been with a bunch of buzzards who can only afford $23 a month. Don't be afraid to give them like, you know, I gold, silver, bronze, final expense them 40, 30, 20, 10. I say, listen, which two of those make the most sense to you and your family? They tell me. I says, okay. They tell me gold and silver. I'll say, all right, here's a silver plus, and I'll split the difference and milk it. Right? I'll get $35,000. I'll give them a quote on that. Let them tell you their budget. These guys are secretly rich. I mean, they have like little to no bills at the end of the day, and they have this guaranteed revenue source. So that's one thing. A lot of people will screw themselves by assuming the person can't afford a lot because they're bitching about the price. That's not true. Okay, don't do that. That's a mistake a lot of people make, and they'll have crappy size policies. Let them tell you what to give them.
Yep, these are leads. These are not live transfers for the question in there. These are often web forms sent directly to a dialer that we provide you. We found that ultimately that was the best case scenario and gets the best CPA scenario. We are looking to do a consumer and inbound call in the future. Once we grow the campaign to thousands and thousands of leads a day, it allows us to get a better price for the call, which gets you a better CPA, and I'm not having to charge you an arm and a leg for consumer inbound, which ultimately would be, you know, a silver platter when you could make more money just dialing them yourselves as well. You know,
just call your leads.
call your fucking leads.
I can't stand, and sorry, Chase, I know this doesn't vibe
You're good.
inbound. I hate fucking inbounds because I have to sit around there with my thumb up my ass waiting for somebody to fucking call me instead of calling somebody. All I need is someone to answer the fucking phone. If you answer the phone, you're buying a policy from me. End of story. Why'd you fill out the form? You didn't fill it out because you weren't interested. How many people here have filled out the form for something online they weren't interested in? It's bullshit. Now they're just afraid because you're calling them and you're presenting them with the real life truth that A, they're going to die. 2, if they don't get a policy that their family's going to fucking resent them for it, right? You're going to have these hard conversations. They don't want to fucking do that at 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you just have to get past that with any lead. All right.
And if you guys have a CRM, if you have, just to answer Dwayne, like, we can send the lead wherever you so be it. You want to send it to your grandma's house? I'll make it happen. I'll send it by carrier pigeon. We'll figure it out. But we can get the leads wherever you need them. Right now, we do provide a Kixie as a service because I have a great deal with them and a brand partnership with them. So it doesn't cost us anything. So it doesn't cost you anything to get in there.
I get mine at GHL, Dwayne.
Yeah. So, we can send you a GHL, no problem. Help you with some of the text campaigns to get things rolling, depending on what we're looking at. And so there's some other questions. I want to just be mindful of your time. I know you got to write some deals. You're probably only at 2, so you got 3 more to write. Good luck. And so we have some questions. You mentioned that it was 70 years old as your senior. Are you mostly writing FE? I know you answered.
Oh, they're not. Yeah, they're not the. That's not the oldest. I get 89. I get 90-year-olds occasionally. I mean, it's freaking leads, right? Everybody's trying to get life insurance. But what?
You haven't got a 90-year-old from our leads, but
well, no, I'm not. I'm just saying in general.
I defend that because we have a filter on the age range. We get the age.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm getting them from like 3 different places. I'm only giving you the stats before on the ones I'm getting here from Chase, by the way. Like I told you, mine's about 4% historically, and I show you the last 100. We're at about 10% close and about over 60% appointment scheduling rate.
Yeah.
Back to no way. I'm one more thing I have to tell you guys before you ask me another question. Who here has a problem with calling people? Anybody here don't like it?
I hope not. If you're on a webinar with Chase
life insurance,
all your fucking leads guy, you should probably, and you have a problem with leads, calling
last
leads.
100%. Dwayne, last 100 people. I'm just looking at the last 100 leads. There's been over 50 have been booked, whether it was self-booked, AI booked, or booked by a phone call that we had with the people. Okay. And 10 of them have been sold. Okay. So that's all I was saying, the last 100. And I'm just looking at that metric because I don't have all day to bore you guys with numbers. But look at, you guys have got to call them. Like, do you remember? I don't remember. Anybody ever do this, like door to door? Any door to door life insurance agents before this got really easy? No? Yep. You guys never sat in a house? Okay. I used to get mailers. All right. I print them out. You didn't even have to. Some people were really tech. Yeah. People were really tech savvy and they did a bunch of stuff online. I had these mailers and I wrote notes all over them. I call them 1,000 times. I call them one time. I put a note. I put the day, the time that I call them. I wouldn't call them at that time next time. Next day, I call them at a different time. Figure out. I'm like a little spy. Like I was in the CIA. I go by their house, right? This is when I have to drive 1,000 miles in my own state every single day to try to make money. Okay, this is much, much easier. You sit there and you just go ahead and call people. If they answer, great. You write them a policy. If not, you call somebody else. I don't understand why that, it makes me like, because I'm having this with my team sometimes, like why that's so hard. Okay, guys, beyond calling them, text them. I don't know. Who has an iPhone? Anybody here have an iPhone? FaceTime them. That gets past the blocker. Audio FaceTime, FaceTime. They answer the phone. These veterans do. They answer it in the doctor's office in a Johnny. And they're like, yeah, I do want life insurance, but now it's not a good time. The doctor's got his finger in my ass. You know what I mean? Like that, this is real. This is what happens. People just because you can't get a hold of them, it's going straight to voicemail. Doesn't mean it's a bad lead. Doesn't mean that it's a customer that doesn't want insurance. It means it's probably a good lead that somebody else gave up on too easy. And it's probably going to be a wicked simple policy to write. So guys, I want you to change your mentality on this a little bit. If you haven't, I'm not saying that any of you don't call your leads or your bums. Okay. What I'm saying is you have got to call your leads. Just get them on the phone. I used to, and I still do, I beg people to answer the phone because I know if I take you through the process, as Chase would say, all right, the process for all you other Americans out there, okay, if you take somebody through it and you go through, you identify their needs, you build the value before you guys show the price, okay, all that stuff happens, they're interested. They're going to get a policy from you most likely. Okay, so I just wanted to say that you guys have to fucking call them. Just call the people. They do want to talk to you. Don't let them fool you and say they don't. All right, they're just scared to buy.
So I put in the chat here, guys. Let me pin myself. I put in the chat booking time. If you book it, I'm going to be on the call with one of our team members as well. Dwayne, I specifically ask you to book a time with all of your questions. I want to sit down with you. We'll figure something out, make sure get you the best seat. I'm seeing from you, and correct me if my statement was wrong, average CPA 350 to 450 around there, and average deal size 1,800 to 2,100. Is that typically what you're seeing? What are you seeing specifically?
Call it $2,000 just to make numbers easier for you guys, and call it. I would say customer acquisition initially is going to be just a bit higher because most veterans are sold between 1 and 30 days. Okay, so you get just like any other life insurance, follow up is key. But you know, it's just every time you get off the phone with them, if you don't close them, you're scheduling a follow up appointment. You are I'm still selling, so my CPA is going up. I mean down now. My close rate's going up because I got people from a year and a half ago that are just getting policies from me now. So yes, you're going to be able to stay in business and make a lot of money initially, but if you keep working your freaking leads, you're going to continue to make money and it's going to grow. So what is really a 4 to 5 to 7% close rate on these, which gives you that $300 to $400 customer acquisition fee, ends up being a much less customer acquisition fee as time goes on. You work your leads, right? They're your leads.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so persistency, I know you touched on it. What's been your persistency over the last year on the
Are we talking about final expense?
No, I'm talking about your effectiveness.
What?
Your persistency for the last 9 months, 12 months. What's your persistency showing?
On veterans?
Yeah.
Yeah, we already went over that. It's like anywhere from 80 to 90. It goes up and down.
And then placements probably about 75, like first draft placement.
Oh, placement? So this is the trick, guys. If you use Americo for the initial underwriting, it gives you a good freaking idea of where to put people. All right, because it's electronic, they don't hold it against you anymore like they used to, right? If you run a initial app on people through some of the carriers out there, I'm not going to mention any because I don't want to affect their stock prices. Okay, they will, your placement will literally go down, and they'll be mad at you, and they'll tell you, "Hey, we don't know if we want you anymore." Okay, but with Americo, freaking, I use them as an underwriting tool. I go through the first part, takes like 3 minutes. You get a green light, good, roll with it. They're the cheapest one out there pretty much right now. If you get select 2 or something like that, okay, huh? Are you sure you're telling me the whole truth on this application? You know, and then you get them to tell you a little bit more. You move to somebody else. Okay, that's best for them. All right. You never leave a carrier on the table, and Marico doesn't charge you for placement.
We have 10 minutes left for our scheduled time. I'm sure you guys have some more questions. So fire them off while we have the little bit of time we have left, because I know he's itching. You can see it in his face. He just wants to get back on the phones and closing deals. Phase one, I want to say thank you for joining and pouring into us today and going over this vertical in general, but also the leads themselves.
Well, dude, right now we're recruiting at massive rates because of these. Well, veteran leads, your leads are contributing to that 100%. But we have the doors wide open. So many people want to come work with us because it's a simple fact. We're turning 10 to 15 veterans away a day that want to talk to us. We're not able to get the phone calls. We're missing appointments. Okay. But I'm not affecting my leads. I'm just going to work hard. I've been sleeping on the couch in my office to try to make sure I get everybody on the East Coast all the way to the West Coast because we work all the time.
Funny, but I remember the first day we started the campaign. You're like, Chase, are you going to be able to do this? Are you going to be able to do this? I was like, hold my beer. You just wait. You just wait. You just wait. I'm going to give you too much you can chew. And now we're in this situation where you have too much you can't chew.
Yeah, but you know what? So that really just it encouraged me. I'm not going to touch the leads, which are working well, and we're still making our money back and profiting handsomely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that problem and I'm going to solve it by hiring a fuck ton of agents who are, good people and actually want to help veterans because I do care about them deeply. Yeah.
Other than throwing at the wall and hoping it sticks, how would you advise learning how to pivot to based off health conditions, medications? That is something that we're not going to spend time going over underwriting help. I suggest, and I don't know what team you're on, speak with your upline and get some underwriting guys.
I'll give you, I got this. Ready? I'm going to tell you right now. Americo. Go to Americo first and just put it in there and ask them to be honest. People are most likely not honest. They know, especially if they've been. How do we get contracted? I don't have Americo. I can get you contracted for Americo.
I'll put your link.
You want me to send it to them?
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. You keep talking.
All right. Guys, I promise you, that's how I teach all of my agents. If you know nothing, if you become good, then you read underwriting guidelines for each of the carriers, like I have done. They have them on all their websites. Read all of them. Put the pros and cons for the products out somewhere on the table. You know, my wife's a nurse, so I have a little bit of a, you know, leg up in that. I know shit about health. You know, I don't know anything about it. So what I would say is find someone who does, or just try Americo, try insurance toolkits. They're pretty right most of the time. And dude, trial by error, who cares? Just get them approved. You know, I don't care if it takes me to write 10 policies to get one person approved. I mean, what, it takes like 3 minutes to write a policy, like actually writing of it. You know, once you get people to open up their purse there, that's not the hard part. The hard part is getting them to yes. If you guys are getting them to yes, just you're a data enter. We're not like great salesmen. We're just doing data entry over here, trying to get people approved for something. How do you get them the best price? Try every carrier. Start with the cheapest, work your way down. That's my method.
Do you guys have any other questions? Fire them off. No question is a stupid question. Always IUL versus whole life?
If they qualify.
Depends if you're structuring your IULs properly.
If you're writing an IUL for growth, we get some of those. We got a couple of people that we'll overfund. You don't make shit on them, for one, and a lot of them are too old or too unhealthy for that. Just because. But you know, like the Americo Mutual and Transamerica especially, their new IULs, those things are super sticky, guys. I mean, we're talking like 90 to 95% persistencies on those.
Harry, where have you been?
Them for final expense.
We're writing mostly IULEs, whole life term. It's going to be depending on what the health and the age and ultimately the budget of the client too. There's going to be some final expense as well, I'd imagine. Maybe even some guaranteed issue. It's going to be a wide range. But what are you writing the most of again, just so we can answer that question again?
Generally speaking, it's final expense or IULs utilized as final expense, and a couple terms and a couple of IULs for investment potential, or whatever, be your own bank crap.
I'm sure we have some more questions. We got to have some more questions, or we did our job really, really well, James.
All right, you guys are all going to get off this call then and write $100,000 a month, I'm guessing.
No, the ads are writing targeting general life insurance. Click now to review your life insurance options for veterans. As general as it possibly can be. I would actually argue, when we started testing the ads, I sent James the ads, and he's like, "Are you sure that's going to work?" Yeah, because it's pretty generic. It's pretty baseline. It's not like get your free Walmart gift card or spend 20 minutes on the phone with our agent. We'll pay you $500. It's pretty just, hey, there's options out there for veterans. With the VA, you're only getting XYZ amount of money if you pass away. There's other options, alternative options that you need to look at. Speak with an agent now.
If you guys want to learn about the differences, that we could do that on another call after you guys sign up, as you're waiting for all your stuff to start rolling. Okay. And implement, how do you say that word? Implementation. Yeah. Implementation. Right. Is that right? Is that a word? I'm not going to ever fucking say that when I sell balls to
you. You're good.
Anyway, when you implement your strategy of working with vets, man, we'll talk. I'll tell you all the differences of, between VA life, which they think is the only way.
Yep.
Not to mention that they think that they have a guaranteed death benefit when they die. That's a lie. They think that the VA is going to pay for their funeral. Not going to happen. But there are some cases that you can give them some insight into some of the things that they do qualify for and build some value that way.
I'd like to also touch on that because it brings up another point that I don't think we talked. We are planning to be able to do a weekly training for people on the subscription plans that are continuously buying the veteran leads. They'll have access to get on calls with other agents, maybe not just James, maybe some of his agents that are crushing it, and a collective effort like we do for inbound calls where we're meeting, weekly to go over the sales processes, handle objections, role playing, etc. You'll have access to that whether you're on Unreal or you're in United Wealth Alliance. There'll be a training call scheduled with all of us. So,
hey Chase, real quick, Can you unmute Ralph? Ask Ralph to talk for a minute. I wanted him to talk about the policy he wrote yesterday.
Which policy? I wrote 3.
Did he actually?
I wrote
I
2.
can't keep track. It was 2. No, you
It was
did
2.
2. Don't lie. All right. I want you to talk about the shape you found of a veteran in yesterday and how you were able to help him and how that amounted to a policy. Do it in 1 minute.
So I had a veteran call me yesterday. I was asking him what his needs were, what he was looking for, and he said he had 6 policies. 1 through Aetna, 2 through America, 1 through ISI, which I don't know who the hell that is. 1 through Transamerica, and there was somebody else. But whatever. He had 6 policies. He's paying $1,283 in premium per month. And he swears up and down that he didn't know anything about this. So James is the guy to go to for those kind of things. Because I wanted to get him something reasonable. I ended up getting him a policy through Baltimore Life. Oh, so all 6 policies total about $100,000. I talked to James, did some thinking, got him approved through Baltimore Life for $75,000 at $649, which means that I made about $8,300 on that one policy.
All right. And to top it off, dude, you saved that veteran. More importantly, you saved that veteran like fucking $7,200 a year. Are you kidding me? And guess what? His family only has to make 1 phone call when he dies.
Right.
They don't have to call and search all these. Some shady guy, I guarantee, didn't even tell him the whole story. Like, you really got to care about people, dude. The veterans will appreciate it. They're getting screwed over every day out there by idiots and even the VA. Okay, so if you're knowledgeable, be like Ralph. Try to help people. If you help people, they will buy from you. Remember, last thing I'm gonna tell you, and then I really do have to go, is they don't care what you know until they know that you care. Remember that. It's the most important thing in life insurance. They don't care what you know until they know that you care.
And I also didn't go home last night till about 9 o'clock. So this is all how much do you care and what you're willing to sacrifice. Nobody, I could have went home at 4 o'clock yesterday and was like, whatever, but I stayed. And even after I wrote the $8,300 policy, I stayed later and wrote one at 7:30 last night for a guy. And I'm writing his wife. I wrote him last night. I'm writing his wife tonight. So I'll be here till 8 o'clock again tonight. But what are you willing to sacrifice? And then make sure you have a conversation with veterans. If you try to sell them, they'll smell it in a heartbeat and they'll hang up on you. If you try to help them and have a conversation, get to know the person you're talking to. If you have a appointment today at 2 o'clock and it takes you from 2 to 3 to close that deal, then just do it. Be genuine with these people. They understand bullshit when they hear it. They're veterans. They've heard it. They've already, if they're calling you, they probably already talked to 2 or 3 or 4 other insurance agents. So have a conversation, find out what they need, get to the why as quickly as you can, figure out what they're looking for, how you can help, and then make sure you tell them we help veterans and their families. We can pass this savings on to your family. Is your wife looking for a policy? Does she have anything? What happens if you die tomorrow? Who's gonna take care of your things? Are you gonna do a GoFundMe? Are you gonna be passing the hat around? Make them feel the pain, like Chase says. Make them feel why they're doing this. And if it's a final expense policy, then you're gonna do this for somebody else because that's not money you can spend. It's gonna be stuff that's gonna go after you die. I prefer to get you an IUL that you can, if you get diagnosed with a chronic or critical illness, you can use that money now. You can pull 80% of that money out and use it now while you're still alive. So show them the benefits, show them why they're doing this, and the reason why did you call me? Why did you? Well, I didn't. You called for a reason. Why did you call? So
appreciate it.
Phone's ringing. Gotta go.
Yeah, appreciate it. Call record. You do trainings. You do role plays. You are able to get access to that on a subscription plan. I don't know who is A. Your name's only popping up as A, but just to address that question there, Eric. Ultimately, I don't know if anybody's read that, but Eric It's one of our agents. He was in our Dallas mastermind, and James and his team were there, and it is insane to see how they work these leads and ultimately work their day. You know, Robert, who's I think in here, it was like 9 o'clock at night, and the guy's still by the pool trying to get that last deal, and he finally got one and came and joined us for the rest of the night. So, guys, I'm going to end the call here. If you do want to book a time with our team, it's in the chat. I'll be posting it again for the chat. Even if you're UWA and you need to just speak with one of our team members, we can more than happy to help you. If you have a custom build that you want to do, etc., please book a time. More than happy to show you how you can get results too. And I want to thank you for joining. I appreciate you guys taking the hour out of your days, your busy days, to obviously hear what I have to say out and what James has to say out. That means that you care what I have to say, which I appreciate. Ultimately, we're here to help. We limit the amount of people that we bring into these programs to make sure we ethically scale. I think we have room for about 50 agents. So get in. There's literally 50 guys that were on the call earlier. So if all of you sign up, we'll be capped for at least 3 to 6 months. So get in, book a call, get with our team. We'll go everything, how you can get results, how it works, how the systems work, and ultimately how you can implement it into your business. And if you want to book a call with James, you're looking for maybe some contracts or a new home. I'm not going to recruit for him, but feel free to book a time and go over the opportunity there. And if it works, it works. If it not, you keep it in your back pocket. Appreciate you guys joining, and have a great rest of your Thursday. But ultimately, the last thing I will leave you guys with is call your fucking leads. Have a great day, guys.